Beloved for her unforgettable roles in Tyler Perry's hit shows and films, Cassi Davis has brought laughter and heart to millions. But beyond the screen, what does life look like for this seasoned star in 2025? In this video, we take you behind the scenes of Cassi Davis's peaceful and faith-filled lifestyle, from her cozy, elegant home to the simple luxuries that reflect her grounded spirit. We'll explore her decades-long career, the moments that defined her legacy, and her estimated net worth in 2025. This isn't just a story about fame, it's about grace, faith, and the quiet strength of a woman who made her mark on Hollywood her own way. Born on July 31st, 1964, in the small, culturally rich town of Holly Springs, Mississippi, Cassi Davis came into the world wrapped in the traditions of faith, family, and Southern resilience. Nestled in Marshall County, Holly Springs was more than just a birthplace. It was a sanctuary of deep-rooted values that would shape the very foundation of her being. Raised in a Southern Baptist household, Cassi's earliest memories are steeped in the warm sounds of Sunday morning choirs, the scent of potluck dinners wafting through fellowship halls, and the spiritual cadence of sermons echoing off wooden pews. Church wasn't just a weekly ritual, it was a way of life. It was in these sacred spaces that her love for music was first stirred. Her voice, still untrained, found purpose in gospel hymns and spirituals that carried more than melody. They carried meaning. From a young age, Cassi stood out, not for flamboyance, but for emotional depth and timing beyond her years. She could make people laugh, cry, or sit in reflective silence, sometimes all within the same conversation. Family and neighbors recall how she would reenact entire church sermons or impersonate relatives with uncanny wit, all while adding her own twist of humor and humility. Her innate sense of storytelling, comedic instincts, and emotional intuition hinted at a destiny beyond the borders of Holly Springs. But what truly set Cassi apart was her anchoring in community. In a town where everyone knew your name, her upbringing was rich with mentors, extended family, and moral guidance. Whether she was attending choir rehearsals, Sunday school, or neighborhood gatherings, Cassi absorbed the values of discipline, kindness, and perseverance. There was no stage yet, but the spotlight already followed her. Cut to a black and white photo of a young Cassi at church, beaming, microphone in hand. The seeds of stardom had been planted, not in glitz or glamour, but in a humble Mississippi church where purpose was found not in applause, but in praise. As Cassi Davis moved from childhood into adolescence, her world expanded beyond the familiar pews and porches of Holly Springs. But even as new doors opened, the foundation laid by her early life remained deeply intact. She carried with her a sense of calling, not just to perform, but to uplift. That calling guided her to one of the most prestigious historically black colleges in the country, Spelman College in Atlanta, Georgia. At Spelman, Cassi pursued a major in music, continuing to develop the voice that had once echoed through church halls. Surrounded by a vibrant academic environment and a sisterhood of ambitious young women, she thrived artistically and spiritually. Yet, despite the intellectual nourishment, her time at Spelman wasn't without its trials. In what would become a defining moment, Cassi made the deeply personal decision to leave Spelman just one credit shy of graduation. The reason? A dispute over her desire to perform a religious piece for her senior recital. The school's administration requested a secular performance, but for Cassi, compromising her faith for formality was a line she could not cross. That decision, painful and misunderstood by some, would later stand as a testament to her unwavering convictions. Though she left the institution, she never left behind the spirit of education and empowerment it instilled. Years later, she would return to Spelman and complete her degree, closing the chapter with dignity and grace. Her time in Atlanta placed her at the intersection of two powerful influences: the artistic freedom of the performing arts scene and the moral clarity of her religious roots. It was a duality she would carry into every role and public appearance that followed. Long before Hollywood ever came calling, Cassi Davis had already chosen her compass. And that compass pointed toward authenticity, no matter the cost. After stepping away from formal education, Cassi Davis set her sights on an industry not known for mercy, entertainment. But even in the chaos of auditions and rejection, she remained anchored in her purpose. Her goal wasn't stardom, it was storytelling. And that subtle difference shaped every opportunity that followed. In the early 1990s, Cassi began landing small but impactful roles in television. One of her first credited appearances was on the popular sitcom Living Single, where her sharp comedic timing caught the attention of casting directors. She also appeared in episodes of Kenan and Kel and Married, with children, slowly building a resume that reflected her versatility. These weren't leading roles, but each one carried the unmistakable warmth and gravity that would become her trademark. What made her stand out wasn't just talent, it was presence. Cassi had the kind of screen energy that didn't require flashy lines or dramatic arcs. She brought humanity to every character, whether she had 10 lines or just 2. And in an era when many black actresses were being typecast, she found ways to expand even the smallest roles into something sincere and memorable. Her true breakthrough came not from a Hollywood agent, but from a man whose career was also just beginning to take off, Tyler Perry. In the early 2000s, Perry was launching a new wave of gospel-infused stage plays that were sweeping through urban theaters across the country. His productions needed actors who could sing, emote, and connect with working-class black audiences in a real way. Cassi was a natural fit. She joined Perry's traveling stage productions, where she played roles that mirrored her own life experience. Strong, faith-driven women who could offer comfort with one line and comic relief with the next. Audiences immediately responded. Her role in plays like Medea's Family Reunion and Medea Goes to Jail didn't just earn laughs, they earned loyalty. By the time Tyler Perry decided to take his characters from the stage to the screen, there was no question who would play the role of Ella Payne, the matriarch in House of Pain. For Cassi Davis, the long road of small gigs and hard decisions had finally led her to a door that only she could open. When Tyler Perry's House of Pain premiered in 2006, few could have predicted the cultural wave it would unleash. The show was a fresh take on the black family sitcom, a blend of humor, heartache, and moral lessons wrapped in Tyler Perry's signature style. At the center of it all stood Cassi Davis, portraying the wise, nurturing, no-nonsense matriarch Ella Payne. For many, Ella wasn't just a character. She was a reflection. A reflection of the mother, the auntie, the church elder, or the neighbor down the street. With her expressive eyes, comedic timing, and grounding presence, Cassi transformed what could have been a supporting role into the emotional anchor of the series. She gave Ella warmth, depth, and resilience, delivering moral guidance without sounding preachy and comedy without ever losing compassion. The show quickly found its audience, first in syndication, then on TBS, and later as a staple on BET. At its peak, House of Pain drew millions of viewers per episode, and Cassi's face became a familiar and comforting presence in living rooms across America. Her ability to handle dramatic arcs, like family addiction, health scares, and generational trauma, while still maintaining humor, was nothing short of masterful. Behind the scenes, her dynamic with the cast and crew mirrored the family she portrayed on screen. She formed a close bond with co-star LaVan Davis, who played her husband Curtis Payne. Though not related in real life, the chemistry between the two led to widespread rumors that they were married off-camera. Both would eventually clarify that they were not a couple, but their deep mutual respect and comic synergy gave audiences every reason to believe otherwise. As the show expanded into spin-offs and specials, including the Paynes and the rebooted House of Pain seasons in the 2020s, Cassi remained a central figure. She wasn't just cast in Tyler Perry productions. She became a pillar of his creative universe. Her success with House of Pain also opened doors to major film roles, but her fame never seemed to change her. Cassi stayed close to her roots, often speaking about her gratitude for the opportunity and her responsibility to portray black women with dignity and truth. For Cassi Davis, fame didn't arrive overnight, but when it came, it was both earned and embraced. Not through scandal or spectacle, but through a character that mirrored who she truly was: strong, loving, and spiritually grounded. By the time Cassi Davis had solidified her role as Ella Payne, she was no longer just a supporting actress. She was a cultural fixture. Her portrayal of emotionally rich, spiritually grounded women became her signature, and she wielded that gift across stage, television, and film with unmatched grace. Beyond the success of House of Pain, Cassi's film career flourished through her ongoing collaboration with Tyler Perry. She starred in several of his most successful films, including Medea's Big Happy Family, Medea Goes to Jail, and Daddy's Little Girls. In each, she brought a unique blend of humor and heart that gave levity to the heavier themes Perry often explored: abuse, poverty, forgiveness, and healing. Her role in Medea's Big Happy Family, 2011, was particularly notable. Playing Aunt Bam, she delivered unforgettable one-liners and physical comedy with the polish of a seasoned stage veteran. The film grossed over $50 million and cemented her status as a comedic force. Aunt Bam would go on to become a recurring favorite in multiple Medea films and stage plays. But Cassi's achievements extend far beyond box office numbers. Her work earned her critical acclaim and multiple honors, including 2 NAACP Image Awards for Outstanding Actress in a Comedy Series. Her recognition was more than a celebration of performance. It was an acknowledgement of the emotional labor she poured into roles that often spoke directly to the Black community's lived experience. She was also a staple at BET's awards shows and honoree lists, frequently invited to participate in tributes and retrospectives that honored Black excellence in television. In 2020, she received the Gracie Award from the Alliance for Women in Media, recognizing her influence as a woman of character and impact in a media landscape often starved for both. Cassi's ability to move seamlessly between stage and screen never faded. She continued to appear in touring productions like Medea on the Run and a Medea farewell play, performing live for thousands. Her voice, stage presence, and instinct for timing never faltered, even as younger actors entered the spotlight around her. In an industry where many careers fade with age, Cassi Davis's continued relevance stands as a testament to talent with purpose. Her career isn't defined by flashy headlines or red carpet dominance, but by the steady, powerful heartbeat of consistency, craft, and connection. While Cassi Davis is most often associated with the silver screen and Tyler Perry's stage, her impact and endeavors extend well beyond the entertainment industry. Away from the bright lights of Hollywood, she has quietly cultivated a life rooted in service, faith, and artistic mentorship. A passionate advocate for youth and faith-based education, Cassi has been deeply involved in community outreach programs, especially those centered around the arts. She frequently lends her time and voice to churches, women's ministries, and performing arts schools across the country. Whether she's speaking to a room of aspiring actresses or hosting a gospel brunch for a local fundraiser, Cassi brings the same authenticity that defines her on-screen work. These appearances aren't promotional, they're personal. She has also been a recurring guest and speaker at Christian women's conferences, where her candid reflections on faith, perseverance, and the pressures of Hollywood offer a grounding counterpoint to the entertainment industry's glamour. With a unique ability to balance humor and wisdom, she's become a sought-after figure in religious and motivational speaking circles. In recent years, Cassi has expressed interest in stepping behind the scenes. Though she has not formally launched a production company, she has been quietly investing in small theatrical productions and independent short films, many with faith-based or socially conscious themes. Her involvement typically stays out of the headlines, but insiders in Atlanta's growing film scene credit her with supporting projects that otherwise might not see the light of day. There have also been rumors, never confirmed, about a future memoir or a faith-based television talk show that she would host. While no announcements have materialized as of 2025, the speculation speaks to a broader truth. Cassi Davis has the presence and wisdom to lead, not just perform. And then there's music. Though she never pursued a commercial recording career, Cassi has occasionally appeared as a guest vocalist in gospel concerts and choirs. Her voice, soulful, commanding, deeply Southern, remains a powerful instrument, especially when used in worship. These side ventures, though less publicized, speak volumes. Cassi Davis doesn't chase fame. Instead, she channels her influence into spaces that reflect her core values: faith, empowerment, and upliftment. Cassi Davis has always lived her life with intention, measured, meaningful, and away from the spotlight unless the spotlight truly served a purpose. Her lifestyle in 2025 reflects exactly that: an elegant, private, and spiritually grounded world tucked into the heart of Atlanta, Georgia. Her primary residence is a classic Southern-style home located in a quiet, tree-lined neighborhood on the outskirts of Atlanta's bustling entertainment district. The house itself is a reflection of Cassi's essence: warm, traditional, and full of character. Think red brick exterior, large front porch with rocking chairs, white pillars framing the entry, and lush hydrangeas lining the walkway. It's not ostentatious by Hollywood standards, but it radiates a quiet confidence and timeless charm. Inside, the home tells a deeper story. Each room is curated not for show, but for meaning. The living area is anchored by a stone fireplace surrounded by family photos, framed scriptures, and hand-woven quilts gifted by loved ones. There's a dedicated prayer room lined with Bibles, devotional books, and stained glass windows that catch the morning light just right. A piano sits in the music room, a nod to her roots in gospel and her music major days at Spelman. The space doubles as a recording area for gospel renditions she occasionally shares in private church events. The kitchen is Southern through and through, open, inviting, and always smelling like something's cooking. Cassi is known to prepare meals from scratch, especially for family and close friends. Sunday dinners remain a sacred ritual in her home, often accompanied by prayer and old-school soul music playing softly in the background. Upstairs, her master suite is a peaceful retreat. Earth tones, soft linens, and bay windows that overlook the backyard garden where she grows herbs and vegetables. There's also a private balcony where she drinks tea and journals at sunrise, a daily practice she's kept for over a decade. Beyond her Atlanta home, Cassi owns a smaller property in Mississippi, the place she refers to as her retreat home. Nestled just outside of Holly Springs, it's a modest farmhouse where she reconnects with her roots and escapes the pace of production schedules. Surrounded by open land, it offers her space to rest, reflect, and remain grounded. Her homes are not about status, they're about sanctuary. Every detail, every room, every corner is infused with memory, prayer, and peace. It's a lifestyle of intention, where wealth manifests not in extravagance, but in comfort, history, and a deep sense of belonging. As Atlanta continues to grow as a major film hub, Cassi remains close to the epicenter of Black entertainment, but she does so on her own terms, in a home that reflects not the roles she plays, but the woman she is. While Cassi Davis has never been one to flaunt her success, her taste in automobiles reveals a quiet appreciation for comfort, tradition, and timeless luxury. In 2025, her car collection doesn't scream opulence, it whispers it, with engines that purr rather than roar, and interiors that feel more like sanctuaries than showrooms. Her daily vehicle is a Cadillac Escalade ESV, fully customized with quilted leather seats, advanced driver assistance systems, and a built-in sound system that plays her favorite gospel and jazz tunes with studio-level clarity. The Escalade is more than a mode of transportation. It's a mobile haven where she can decompress between shoots, prayerfully reflect, or take calls with her team in peace. Then there's her Bentley Mulsanne, parked like a crown jewel in her garage. Reserved for special occasions, galas, premieres, or family events, the Mulsanne is a symbol of classic taste. Its rich, deep blue exterior and cream interior offer a balance of elegance and gravitas that mirrors Cassi's on-screen persona. She once said in an interview, "I don't need fast cars. I need steady ones. Cars that ride smooth, like life should." In her collection also sits a Mercedes-Benz G-Class, affectionately known as the G-Wagon. But hers isn't the flashy kind seen on social media. It's a deep forest green, matte finish, with minimal chrome and custom features tailored for discretion and comfort. It's her go-to when she wants security, power, and style all at once. Though never officially confirmed, industry insiders and frequent Tyler Perry collaborators have hinted at the shared use of a private jet for talent and production staff under Perry's studio umbrella. While it's unlikely Cassi owns a jet outright, it's widely accepted that she travels first class or privately when shooting on location or attending high-profile events outside Georgia. As for other luxury assets, Cassi prefers heirlooms over haute couture. She's often seen wearing vintage jewelry, much of it gifted or inherited, pieces with stories behind them rather than price tags. Her wardrobe leans toward flowing fabrics, classic silhouettes, and custom pieces from Black-owned designers. Her luxury is not loud, it's legacy-driven. It's the type of wealth that moves with grace, speaks only when necessary, and carries its worth not on price tags, but in peace of mind. Cassi Davis has never positioned herself as a political figure, but her worldview is unmistakably clear to anyone who listens closely. Guided first and foremost by her deep Pentecostal Christian faith, she approaches public discourse not with slogans or sound bites, but with scripture, discernment, and humility. She's long emphasized the importance of family values, spiritual integrity, and personal responsibility, principles that align with a traditionally conservative outlook, though she has never explicitly aligned herself with a particular political party. In interviews and faith-based panels, Cassi often speaks of putting God before government, suggesting that her core allegiance lies not in politics, but in purpose. Cassi has voiced her support for community-based programs, particularly those that focus on youth development, faith in education, and addiction recovery, issues that frequently overlap with the themes explored in Tyler Perry's stories. Her activism, while not loud, is rooted in mentorship. She's known to sponsor students from her hometown and quietly fund scholarship programs at church-affiliated institutions. She has also been a vocal supporter of African American churches, viewing them as both spiritual and social institutions that play a vital role in strengthening Black communities. She's participated in prayer walks, church summits, and women's ministry forums aimed at reducing crime and increasing mental health awareness in underserved areas. Where she draws the line is in political spectacle. Cassi rarely attends political rallies, and she avoids social media debates entirely. Her public stances come from the pulpit, not the podium, from sermons, not from statements. In a time when celebrity voices often clash and polarize, Cassi Davis remains a rare figure, firm in her beliefs, yet gracious in her delivery. Her politics are quiet, but they're present, in every choice, in every word, and in every life she's touched without ever needing to raise her voice. At the core of Cassi Davis's life is not celebrity, but spiritual discipline. Her Pentecostal faith has long been the bedrock of how she lives, loves, and leads. It informs her career choices, her public silence in chaotic times, and even the rhythm of her daily life. Prayer is not something she schedules, it is something she breathes. Her day typically begins before sunrise, often in quiet devotion on her balcony with a Bible, a cup of herbal tea, and a journal. Friends and colleagues say she rarely makes decisions, big or small, without first seeking clarity through prayer or scripture. It's not performative, it's foundational. Her commitment to faith also guided her response to a health challenge that became public in 2020 when she revealed her diagnosis with Bell's palsy, a condition that temporarily affected the muscles on one side of her face. Rather than retreat or cover it up, Cassi addressed the situation with remarkable poise. She assured fans she was not in pain, that she was healing, and most importantly, that her spirit remained unshaken. Her transparency struck a chord, inspiring countless messages of support and turning what could have been a setback into a testimony. In terms of wellness, Cassi's approach is as grounded as her faith. She favors holistic practices, herbal remedies, walks through her garden, and periods of fasting not just for health, but for spiritual clarity. Her relationship with food is one of balance. She still enjoys traditional soul food, collard greens, baked mac and cheese, cornbread, but often opts for cleaner versions with fresh, homegrown ingredients. Her life philosophy is simple but powerful. Live with intention, serve with love, and protect your peace. She doesn't chase trends or crowds. She centers herself first, then gives freely. For Cassi Davis, wellness isn't about appearances. It's about alignment. A quiet body, a peaceful mind, and a spirit in sync with something greater. For much of her career, Cassi Davis kept her personal life tucked away from the public eye, intentionally private, never secretive, but always sacred. So when it was revealed that she had quietly married her longtime partner Carrie Patton in 2017, the news felt less like a bombshell and more like a quiet confirmation of what many had long suspected. Behind the scenes, Cassi had found a steady, loyal love. Their relationship wasn't forged in celebrity circles or red carpet events. It was built over years of deep friendship, mutual respect, and shared faith. Carrie Patton, not to be confused with the actor of the same name, has largely remained outside the public eye. What is known is that he shares Cassi's values of faith, discretion, and purpose. Friends describe him as her calm, steady, supportive, and completely uninterested in the limelight. Together, they've built a marriage rooted in spiritual alignment rather than spectacle. While they don't have children of their own, Cassi has often said she feels like a mother to many. Through her mentorship in the entertainment industry and active involvement in church ministries, she has helped guide dozens of young people, especially young women, toward purpose, confidence, and clarity. Many refer to her affectionately as Mama Cassi, a title she wears with quiet pride. Family remains central to her identity. She is still deeply connected to her roots in Mississippi, where much of her extended family resides. Holidays and family reunions are non-negotiables in her calendar. And while she may live in Atlanta and work in Los Angeles from time to time, her heart always circles back to the people and places that shaped her. She has also built a chosen family among the cast and crew of Tyler Perry Studios. Her bond with Davis, who plays her on-screen husband Curtis Payne, remains one of mutual admiration and playful chemistry. Though persistent rumors once linked them romantically, both have long since clarified that their connection is entirely platonic and professional, a reflection of the deep familial energy that radiates from the ensemble. In every sense, Cassi's personal life mirrors her values: loving, grounded, and fiercely protected. Beyond the familiar roles and public appearances, Cassi Davis carries a quiet depth of skills and passions that rarely make the headlines, but deeply inform who she is. One of her most remarkable yet underappreciated talents is her gospel singing voice. While her acting often takes center stage, those who've heard her sing in person, whether during a live church service or a behind-the-scenes rehearsal, know that her voice can fill a room with soul-stirring power. It's raw, unfiltered, and filled with the kind of emotion that can only come from someone who's lived every lyric. She was, after all, a music major at Spelman, and originally envisioned a career centered around sacred music before acting ever took hold. Another lesser-known side of Cassi is her gift in the kitchen. She's an exceptional Southern cook, known among close friends for her homemade peach cobbler, fried catfish, and collard greens made from scratch. She doesn't just cook, she creates community through meals. Sunday dinners in her home are not performances but traditions, with food prepared by her own hands and stories shared across the table. She also has a deep love for gardening. What began as a hobby has grown into a personal sanctuary, a backyard filled with herbs, vegetables, and flowers that she tends to with daily care. Gardening for Cassi is a spiritual ritual, a way to connect to the earth, to God, and to herself. Perhaps one of the most meaningful things few people know is that she's a mentor behind the scenes. Many young actresses and crew members at Tyler Perry Studios cite her as the person who encouraged them during difficult moments. She doesn't mentor with advice alone. She does it with time, presence, and lived wisdom. In an industry often driven by drama and headlines, Cassi Davis has remained a remarkably scandal-free figure. Her name doesn't trend for the wrong reasons. She doesn't fuel gossip columns or air grievances in public forums. But that doesn't mean she's avoided hardship. Like any public figure, and any human being, she's faced moments of challenge and vulnerability. One of the most widely discussed moments came in 2020, when fans began noticing a change in her appearance during new episodes of House of Pain. The right side of her face appeared to droop slightly, prompting speculation online. Rumors swirled, with everything from plastic surgery gone wrong to more severe health crises being thrown into the digital rumor mill. Rather than retreat or let the speculation spiral, Cassi addressed the matter head-on. She revealed that she had been diagnosed with Bell's palsy, a condition that causes sudden muscle weakness on one side of the face. She assured fans that the condition was not life-threatening, that she was receiving treatment, and that her spirit and her faith remained intact. Her openness turned what could have been a tabloid headline into a teachable moment. She received an outpouring of support from fans, fellow actors, and health advocates who praised her for her honesty and courage. In an age when many in the spotlight choose to hide or filter their realities, Cassi chose to walk through hers with transparency and dignity. Aside from this health challenge, there have been no major controversies associated with her name. Even during times when false rumors circulated, such as persistent gossip tying her romantically to co-star Davis, Cassi chose not to engage in reactive commentary. Her silence wasn't avoidance, it was discernment. Her setbacks haven't defined her. Her response to them has. Cassi Davis has proven time and again that strength isn't always loud. Sometimes it looks like grace under pressure and faith in the face of fear. Over the decades, Cassi Davis has carved out a rare and enduring legacy, one not built on spectacle or celebrity, but on something far more lasting: authenticity. In a media landscape that often rewards flash over substance, she has become a trusted presence, a cultural touchstone, and a symbol of consistency in Black entertainment. Her portrayal of Ella Payne in House of Pain did more than entertain, it represented. At a time when television often flattened Black women into stereotypes, Cassi offered a matriarch who was loving but firm, humorous yet wise, rooted in faith but layered with emotion. Ella wasn't just a character. She became a familiar figure in households across America, especially in communities that rarely saw themselves reflected with such dignity and nuance. Her contributions helped shape Tyler Perry's creative empire, and in doing so, she helped usher in a new era for Black actors, writers, and directors in mainstream media. As one of Perry's most trusted collaborators, she brought heart and humanity to productions that reached millions across theaters, homes, and streaming platforms. Her consistency and presence became a bridge between traditional stage storytelling and modern televised narratives. But her cultural impact goes even deeper. Cassi's legacy lies in the emotion she evokes, the laughter she inspires, and the moral compass she never wavers from. For many in the Black community, especially women of faith, she's not just an actress. She's a mirror of their own strength, humor, and resilience. Younger generations of actresses often cite her as an example of staying grounded in faith while navigating fame. She's not only someone to admire, but someone to emulate. Her mentorship behind the scenes, her loyalty to her roots, and her dedication to portraying characters with integrity have quietly influenced a wave of storytellers and performers who follow in her path. In 2025, Cassi Davis stands not just as a veteran of stage and screen, but as a matriarchal figure in entertainment culture, a woman whose presence has brought stability, depth, and soul to every room she's entered. Her legacy isn't just what she's left behind. It's what she continues to build, day by day, role by role, prayer by prayer. In a world constantly chasing the next big headline, Cassi Davis has chosen a different path, one of quiet excellence, grounded faith, and unwavering purpose. She has built a life not around flashing cameras, but around steady principles, integrity, community, and devotion to something greater than herself. In 2025, she remains not only active in the entertainment industry, but revered, a woman whose career continues to unfold on her terms. Whether reprising her role as Ella Payne, mentoring rising talent, or tending her garden in peace, Cassi's journey is a testament to the idea that success is most powerful when it's rooted in authenticity. She's proven that you don't have to shout to be heard, that you don't need controversy to stay relevant, and that it's entirely possible to be both famous and faithful, beloved and balanced. Her home reflects her spirit. Her marriage reflects her loyalty. Her legacy reflects her choices. As the credits roll on this portrait of her life, we return not to the bright lights of Hollywood, but to a woman at peace on her front porch, sipping tea, watching the sunrise, and knowing she has lived well, fully, honestly. Because for Cassi Davis, the real spotlight has always come from within.